Hey there everyone, this is Divyam from Online FX Academy, and today I'm going to show you how to create mode in 4 simple steps in Photoshop. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here we are in Photoshop, and if you feel like following me along, you can as usual go ahead and download this image from the link given in the description. Now the first thing we are going to do is add selective blur. So let's make a copy of background layer by pressing Ctrl or Command J, and let's rename it as Selective Blur. Now let's go to Filter and select Convert for Smart Filters. And we do this just so we can make our filters non-destructible and can change the values later. Now let's go to Filter, Blur Gallery, and then select Iris Blur. Let's make the blur to about 100 pixels. Now the blur inside these 4 points is 0 and outside the circle is 100. And from these points to the circle it increases from 0 to 100 gradually. Now let's adjust these points accordingly, and when you move this you will notice that they move together. Now to move them individually, just hold the Alt or Option key, and now you can move them individually. Now let's adjust it according to our image to make the background blur. Also, I feel like 100 pixels is a bit too much, so let's decrease that and let's just see what looks good. I guess around 65 would look nice. Now the next step would be to make the background a little darker so that our subject attracts the eye of the viewer immediately. So let's go to our adjustment layer icon and select Curves Adjustment Layer. And here let's drag this point on the right hand side down somewhere about here. And let's make a point in the middle to add a little more contrast to the dark areas and create a bent curve. Now we don't want to apply this to the subject, so let's select our brush tool, make sure it's a hard round brush and your opacity and flow are set to 100. Make sure the mask is selected and take the brush to the face of the subject and just dab with black as the foreground color. Now press Ctrl or Command T with the mask still selected, and let's adjust it according to the subject. Now it looks pretty harsh, so with mask selected, go to Properties and let's increase the feather. Let's increase it, and I'm gonna keep it about 144. So here's the before and here's the after. And now it's drawing the attention to the subject. You can also change the canvas background to black to make it just look more cool, but I like it at default. Now let's add a little more highlights to draw a little more attention to the face. So let's create another curves layer by clicking on adjustment layer icon and choose curves. And make a point in the middle, and let's take it up just a little bit. Select the mask and press Ctrl or Command I to invert the mask. So with the brush tool selected, choose the soft round brush and make sure the foreground color is white and just paint on the face. Just dab. Just dab a little around the areas where you want the highlights. Now once you have done that, press X to toggle between the background and the foreground color. And let's remove it from the areas where we don't want it. On top of that, if you want to add some dimension by taking it automatically away from the dark areas, you can always use blend F. So double click on the right hand side of the layer. Take the slider of the underlying layer from left to right. This will take the effect of curves from the dark areas of the underlying layer. Now it's very harsh, so hold the Alt or Option key to break it apart and just take it further. Now let's add some highlights to the hair. So let's again go to our adjustment layer and select curves, and again just take it up. And make sure the mask is selected. Press Ctrl or Command I and just zoom in and just dab on the hair. Again press X to toggle the foreground color and remove it from the unwanted areas around. Also, it seems like a little too bright, so let's decrease the opacity to about 30%. Now to finish off the lighting, let's add a faded effect. And to do that, let's again go to the adjustment layer icon and create another curves layer. So take the point on the left hand side and take it up. Now add a point here and add a little curve to it by taking it down. So here's the before and here's the after. Now you want to take the fade away from the subject, so take brush, select the mask with a soft round brush, just tap on the subject with black. And if you want, you can go to the properties and decrease the density to control the contrast. So I'm gonna keep it at about 84. Now let's group these layers. Select the top layer, hold the shift key and then select the bottom layer of the lighting and press Ctrl or Command G with all of these layers selected, and let's rename this as lighting. Now the next step is color grading. So let's go to our adjustment layer icon and choose color lookups. And let's select crisp warm from the drop down menu. Now it's a bit too much, so let's decrease the opacity to about 36%. As you can see, it looks like a bit too saturated at the moment. So to fix that, let's create another color lookup table, and this time we'll add futuristic bleak, as it kind of desaturates everything. And let's decrease the opacity to around 13%. You can also go ahead and play with the opacity to find the perfect balance between these two. And once you are done, let's select these two layers and group them, and let's name it as color grading. And now the final step, the finishing touches. Now in this image, the eyes are not grabbing as much attention as they should. So let's create another curves layer at the top. Make a point in the middle and take it up. Now press Ctrl or Command I with the mask selected to invert it. Select the brush tool with white as foreground color and just dab over the eyes. And toggle between the foreground color and remove it from the unwanted areas. Now once you have done that, double click on the right hand side and use Blend If to make it look more natural. Hold the Alt or the Option key and just drag these two to the right. So here's the before and here's the after. Let's also decrease the opacity a little bit to about 44%. Now next and final step, let's add another adjustment layer. Go to our adjustment layer icon and select photo filter. Keep it to default of warming filter 85 and let's just decrease the density to about 17. And here we are, having created the mood in Photoshop in 4 simple steps.
So I hope you have fun trying this super cool effect on your own. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, please press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future updates, and help us keep Online Effects Academy free by supporting us on patreon.com. I'll see you on to my next one. Till then, make sure you keep creating.